a young boy, I went to school and learned how to read and write. At home, I learned how to fish, swim, and use a gun. When I turned 10, my brother came back from the army and told me many stories. This was a happy year for me, but the next year was a sad year when my father died. When I turned 14, I was as strong as a man and could ride a horse better and run faster than anybody my own age. At 16, I became a surveyor. I also became good friends with Lord Fairfax, a nobleman who purchased a large piece of land. I was hired by Fairfax because people were building houses on his property. I set out on foot and worked with a long chain that helped me measure his land. I often slept in the woods and would eat wild animals over a fire. I used strong, flat pieces of wood for plates. One day, I met a band of Indians who danced and played music for me. When I came back from my surveying trip, Lord Fairfax was so happy that the governor hired me to be a public surveyor. In my early 20s, I was chosen to assist General Braddock to fight the French. The King of England sent men to help, but they had a couple of problems. They wore bright red coats that could be seen for miles, and they did not know the wilderness. I tried to explain this to their general, but he wouldn't listen. We had begun to make roads through the forest when all of a sudden the French and the Indians were behind every tree. They started shooting at us. We all fought hard, but slowly, one by one, many soldiers died in their red coats. I quickly helped organize a retreat to save the rest. The French had won this time, but I was ready for the next fight. One snowy day later in my life, I took a ride on my best horse. It was a wet day, but I loved it. I went back home in my wet clothes, but was so hungry that I ate dinner first. The next day, I caught a bag cold. I called a doctor, and he did what he could to help. I tossed and turned for many days. I remember uttering these words: I die hard, but I am not afraid to go. I died on December 14,